like we talked a little here off the show, and what I actually did, man, is seeing that you were going to be on the show, I reached out to a bunch of the listeners that we have on the show, and I let them know what you do and that you were going to be on the show. I was going to interview you, man, and I asked kind of some of the listeners to anybody, basically, like, anybody got any questions about real estate that you would like answered. Like, Jason obviously is exclusive here to the state of Nevada, but I
Yeah.
just kind of asked for common real estate questions that people submitted in. And if you wouldn't mind, man, I would like to pull these up and read a couple to you. Is that all right?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up these. Let me pull these up for you, man. Yeah, I had a bunch of our listeners. Not too crazy. You know what I mean? We got a few here, but yeah, I got a few of our listeners send in some real estate questions for Jason here. And let me go ahead and pull those up, and I'll start in order. Let me get this first one. One of our questions from one of our listeners reads, roughly, how much do I need to have saved up to begin the home buying process?
Okay, so the I think the biggest misconception right now out there is that you need 20% down on a home. So that's not true. There's ways you can get qualified by putting, and it depends on your employment or what you've done recently or in the past. Just like military vets or anything like that, they can get into a home with zero down. But for the average person, I would say that 3.5% is what you really need. So out of $100,000, that's $3,500.
Okay.
Now, that would be that would be it essentially. Based off, there's programs too that can help you out too, and you can find those at homeispossible.nv.org, or NerdWallet does a really good recap on all those as well. So if you need to look into VA loans, USDA loans, conventional FHA.
And this is not a listener question, man, but I saw earlier today you were, I follow you back on social media, and I saw that you were posting a lot of information about, a lot of programs that are out there that can help people with this process, man. Just very quickly, and I'll read more of these questions. But
Yeah.
what do you speak to that, man? And like, what programs are out there that people should look into? Like you just said that they might not consider when purchasing a home.
Home as possible is a big one. We were able to utilize that on the first time we bought our home. We didn't get the full grant, but there's grants that give you up to 5% down for your down payment.
Right.
It can go towards your closing costs. It can go towards your down payment, however you want to utilize it. Typically, they charge you like a one-time fee, and you have to take a small class. It's maybe like 30 minutes up to an hour. It's really fast stuff, and yeah, man, like you can just get free money based off of just that. And the cool thing is that most of these programs are reusable. So after a certain period of time, let's just say you sold your home or something, and you're going back into the market and buying again, then you can reutilize this program again and again. So those are some. I don't want to give them all out because everybody's scenario will be different
Right,
for sure.
right. And I would just add to that, you know what I mean? Look for I would also look up for just kind of different special programs that might be specific to the county that you're going to live in, because here in the county that I live in, I live in Lyon. When I bought my house, I ended up with something called a Wish program. I don't know if they still have it anymore, but back then they had this Wish program for first-time home buyers, where they were able to take your down deposit, and they tripled it for you. You know what I mean? That so yeah, they did this crazy thing where they tripled my deposit. So like on paper, I left a fat deposit on the house, which also helped in lowering the monthly mortgage payments. So just adding that, man, definitely look for those kind of programs, guys. That's definitely something to keep in mind. But
There on that too, though.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm going to add something in there on that. So for those programs too, your lender has to be qualified to be able to do those too. So not everybody is grant available. You have to have a specific lender to be able to do that.
Okay, well, there you have it, guys. Keep that in mind, and just you gotta ask the questions, man. You gotta look for every possible advantage, especially like we're saying, when you're making such a big move. But let's go ahead and jump right back into these questions.
So
Okay, next question from one of our listeners reads, "I'm currently looking to buy my first home with my husband. While we've been shopping around, we keep running into houses we like that are labeled as short sale. Can you explain what a short sale means?
A short sale means that uh, based off what the home is priced at, the homeowner owns more. So that difference is a short sale. So they're not able to sell their home in order to pay off their debt. And that's exactly what a short sale ends up being.
So are
So
these still houses that are like these are not really available for buying, or is there just a longer process to it?
you can, no, for sure. It's a longer process. Your lender definitely has to qualify you, or typically you have to have cash. It's almost like a foreclosure too, right? The cash money ends up being the king, and
Cash is
the
king,
banks
bro.
don't care. The banks don't care. They're not gonna, just because you have $100,000 cash, but they're trying to sell that property for 150,000. They're not gonna drop it down to that $100,000 for you.
Right, right,
They're starting that bid at 150K because they want to get that money back,
right.
and then you potentially have bid wars against other people, other investors, other people who have a little more change in their pockets, and end up going for those properties too. So there's definitely a big market for short sales. There's a big market for foreclosures, and yeah, get ready to be competitive or outbid, and have a little bit of some money saved up. But those are crown jewels for sure. They can be.
Yeah, man. I definitely remember the when I was doing my shopping process, man. When I was when I was in that process of looking for a house before I ended up with this one that I'm in now. I mean, yeah, bro. It's very competitive. That's what was my experience anyway. So you got to stay on it. But yeah, man, that great answer. We got a few more here. Next question from one of our listeners reads, it says, "How do I know if I'm getting the right home insurance?"
The right home insurance. Shop around, dude. Just
Yeah.
because you're with American Family Insurance, or you're with Progressive or whatever, shop around. It's the same thing with your lender. Um, you might get approved for a loan with one person, but the next person might be able to do something better, right?
Yeah.
Overpay.
And I mean, I would assume that insurance requirements are. I mean, I'm sure there's a requirement in every state. I mean,
For
who
sure.
knows? Maybe not Florida with all their fucking loopholes, but uh, I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, I mean, I think I'm not sure if I've read that question. I mean, that's how the question was sent in. But hey, if you want to know more, definitely elaborate a little more. And like I said, you can find Jason on the Instagram and social media as well at Homes with Jason. And yeah, if you guys have more questions, definitely send them his way. I'm sure he wouldn't mind, helping you guys out. But yeah, let's go ahead and read next question. Next one reads, I would love to buy a house, but my credit isn't all that great. It's not terrible, but it could be better. What are my options?
Okay, so that's really it's really generic because your situation may be different in the lender's eyes, right? Just because you say you have like a 640 and it's bad, or a 620 and it's bad, that's not true. For somebody else, that might be that you just qualified, right? So I can tell you this. Lenders are looking for a few things, and one of them is credit score for sure. That's definitely one. Another one is your debt to income ratio. So basically, put everything that you're making payments on in a month, how much your income is, and then divide that number. So divide your debts versus your income, and you're going to get a percentage. So the typical percentage that banks like to see or lenders like to see is about 43%. So just because you have 43% and it's high, you have a high DTI, it doesn't mean that you wouldn't qualify, right? The lenders also want to play the devil's advocate, and check your assets too that you may have, and then count those against it. And they have a numerous amount of ways to do that too. But then your work history is another one too, and those factors all play into one to get you approved for your loan.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say that because you have a bad credit score that you wouldn't be able to get qualified, because that's just not true. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of small banks like credit unions that are able to help you get different type of
You
loans.
gotta love those credit unions, man.
Yeah, brother. So some of those credit unions are able to approve you for a loan, even if you have a low credit score, in order to boost your credit score. So it might take a little bit of time. It's not an overnight thing, but um, definitely doing your homework and checking out with credit unions, they'll be able to help for sure.
Another great answer, man. I definitely think that's that I mean you couldn't be more clear, and I think that'll help a lot of people out. But moving on, next question we have from one of our listeners reads: if we find any problems with the house upon inspection, does that go into the price negotiations?
Of course, of course.
I
I
mean,
think that's one of the biggest things too. So we
just like
talked
a
about
car,
date.
man. Just like
Yeah,
when you buy a car, you find something wrong with it, hey man, you're gonna ding the price a little down on that.
absolutely. So certain loans do require you to fix those things before you move in. And if they are not done, then you can't move into your home. The sale can't get approved by the lender because there's too much of a problem with, with the home that I won't go buy. Excuse me. So yeah, absolutely. So your real estate agent should be negotiating something in there, getting you guys a credit back, uh, trying to get that repair or getting all the repairs necessary at that given time. There's specific dates that you have to be careful with as well. There's specific dates when all your inspections need to be done,
Got it.
and then you have certain dates as well after the inspections are done to request those repairs to be done. So yes, absolutely, for sure.
And you heard it here first, guys. Another good question to ask. Things you got to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Take notes, people. You got to keep this stuff in mind, especially if you're going for the house. But okay, let me go ahead and read our next question here. Next question reads: what is the usual time frame from beginning to end, from starting the process to getting the keys?
Okay, so this is really good. Um, if you're buying with cash, it can take 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks, maybe even sooner. So it really depends on cash because they like cash and to fast close.
Cash is king,
Uh,
man. Just like I said.
yeah, absolutely. But your other loans, your FHAs, your VAs, your conventionals, in this market, you're seeing at least 3.5 weeks, 4.5 weeks, depending on if everything is going as smooth as butter. There's no repairs you have to do.
Yeah.
You're negotiating back and forth on the price. Um, oh, something doesn't go wrong with your loan,
Oh
and knock
yeah.
on wood, I hope that
Yeah.
never freaking happens. But a good note to self for anybody that's out there: you do not want to buy high price ticket items. You don't want to put up your debts on your credit cards. You don't want any of that going on when you're in contract. Maybe after the fact, maybe 2 weeks after the fact, you're recorded, you're done with the city, you have your keys, you're all set, your lender telling you you're good to go, then go ahead. But please, please, please do not make any high purchases. Do not go buy a car. Do not go buy some Yeezys on the credit
Don't
card.
run it up. Don't run it
Do
up.
it.
Wait,
Don't
get the
run it up.
keys first. Get the keys.
Please, yes.
And
And check it with your lender.
you can go get your Jordans right after, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man, another very cool question. We only got a couple more here, man. The next one reads, what are things I can do to make my house more appealing to buyers? I've had it listed for a couple of months, but still no offers. What am I doing wrong?
Okay, hit me up because that's an issue that you don't have offers already. Um,
Especially like you said, this market is so competitive, man. Like you're doing something
exactly.
wrong. Maybe a lack of advertisement and promotion. I don't know, but I mean, go ahead and answer the question, bro.
Okay, so I think first I would your real estate agent should do the homework too. Graph comparables around the area to see what a home has recently sold for. Because if you have your home super high, then but another home that was more remodeled than yours or had an extra bedroom or bath or something sold, then something's wrong there. So pricing could be one. Two is try not to do too much, but definitely check in to see if you can do a small little remodel. Touch up the bathroom, touch up paint on the outside,
Fix
exterior,
up your
uh,
floors, your roof,
some
whatever it
flooring,
takes, man.
landscaping. Um, Furniture is probably one of the biggest ones I would say too. Uh, your home on average is can sell 10% more just based off of furniture. If your house is fully furnished, you'll definitely get a little bit more money than what you're anticipating. So for sure, just doing those small little things definitely makes a big impact. And yeah, that's crazy. You still haven't have an offer accepted? Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hit up the expert, man, because yeah, I don't know what. Obviously, we don't know the full picture of your situation,
Sure,
and
of
I'm not the
course.
expert. I got the expert here, which is why we're asking them the questions. But yeah, I agree, man. If seeing as how competitive Jason says the market is, I mean, if you've had your home up for sale and nobody's bitten yet, I mean, we got to know a variety of things. I would assume, like location, where is it, what does the house look like, and I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of factors that go into that.
Absolutely,
Okay.
100%.
And last question we have
Oh,
for
what?
Jason. Yeah, yeah, man. We went through the whole list. We ran through all of them, man. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's read this last question for you here, man. This one says, "Does making improvements to my house, such as new flooring and roof, landscape in the yards, and the upkeep in the plumbing, have an effect on the selling price?" Well, I think we just answered that.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah!
we
Just answer that.
yeah we just answered that. So
Hell
you're
yes,
asking if
do
making
that.
improvements to the house increases the selling price? Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I mean, duh. I mean, making those kind of big improvements is that's the selling point of the house. That you made the improvements. So, yeah, man. Kind of answered those last two in one shot. So,
Oh yeah,
how about that,
perfect.
man? Those are questions for the real estate man for Jason. And like I said, if you guys have any more questions or you want Jason to elaborate a little more on any question that you have, or you just need his expertise on whatever you got going on in terms of real estate, definitely hit him up, man. You can find him very easily, and I'm sure he'll get back to you as soon as he can. Um,
The insurance one is good. That one has me thinking
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Those are really good questions. Thank you guys all for all of you guys who submitted questions in for Jason, and everyone listening to the show and helping us keep this thing going. But and just what do you see, man, in terms of like I said, I kind of asked you about your goals moving forward, but in terms of
Yeah.
just strictly real estate, you know what I mean? What are you hoping to achieve in this upcoming year?
So for me, one of the biggest things that I want to look into for the foreseeable future, and I mean, I be this year, man. This is definitely a long term goal. But the faster I can get there, the better. As the faster it can snowball, the better. But um, rental properties is a big one for me. I want to have a good amount of rental properties that are bringing a stream of income that can maintain my lifestyle.
Right.
And your lifestyle may be different from mine, or you may be picturing a different lifestyle that you want to live. Um, but rental properties are probably one of the biggest ones that I'm looking for the foreseeable future. Maybe that's a duplex. Maybe renting
You're
my home
talking
out.
like studio apartments and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. Like the split homes, the divided homes where they have like one garage, for each one, and just checking in to see that, or seeing if I can buy a house foreclosure. There's some strategies there too, because overall it does take a lump sum of money to be able to afford something like that. But there's ways around it, and there's people that can help you get through that. Those are probably one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to, so that way I can continue to do exactly what I want to do, and when I want to do it, and not have to rely on somebody else telling me how to do it, or what I should be doing, or how to be living my life. So that's a big one for me.